Okay, I know I had promised that I was going to do the questions after the sword thing, and I do still plan to do it, but I'm getting so fucking sick and tired of hearing this over and over. I'm hearing it where I live, I'm seeing it on YouTube now, I'm hearing it on the news, and it just goes, it's yet another reminder on top of the other millions of reminders I get every half second about how stupid Americans are. This question is posed to the conservatives, who I know don't really watch my channel, which is why I'm asking those of you who might know of a few, or might be in contact with a couple of conservatives or whatever, pass this question along. Or if you are conservative, I want you to get your thumb out of your ass for a moment, you know, the one that's painted red, white, and blue, and just for a moment, ponder this question. I know it's been asked to you more than once by now, but I would like you to actually seriously give it some thought. Here's my question. Why is it when Bush, Paulson, and his cronies came up with a plan to bail out businesses and bail out the banks and spend tons of your so-called taxpayers' dollars and rob you blind, when you guys got pissed off about that, it was the Federal Reserve's fault or the general government's fault? Whenever it's a problem, you don't want to point it at a particular finger, you just simply say the government in this nice blanket term. It's their fault, or it's the bankers' fault, or it's the foreign, investors, or for the more crazy among you, oh, it's the Rothschilds, or it's the Rockefellers, it's the Jewish conspiracy, or whatever BS. But when Obama happens to go along with the same fucking plan that these people had already enacted before he even showed up into office, then all of a sudden the deficit is his fault. How is that? Can you guys explain to me how it is that the motherfuckers who put us into this situation, you won't name them by name, but when this guy comes in and inherits the situation and he decides to go with the same bullshit that the people you put in charge went with in the first place, somehow it's his fucking fault? Can you please fucking explain to me how that works? How that fucking hypocrisy is supposed to fly? Am I the only goddamn person who sees something wrong with that? Now, granted, I didn't vote for the man. I don't support him. I got a beef against him myself, mostly because of the goddamn FISA bill that he helped to vote for. And the fact that he's not even reversing it. And I do agree with you that pumping trillions of dollars into this is only going to make matters worse. I agree. But let's be fucking honest here. He's going along with shit that the cronies you fuckers voted for had enacted in the first place. Have you already forgotten the past 8 years of misery we went through? We wouldn't be in this economic problem if it wasn't for fuckers that you were saying are champions. We would not be in this situation if it wasn't for Bush, and if it wasn't for the fuckers that he put in charge, and if it wasn't for the people that he was helping out during the last 8 years that we were putting up with him. How many freaking business scandals have been popping up while he was in office? And how many are popping up in the wake of him being in office? I'm not even talking about the disaster of his foreign policy, the whole Guantanamo Bay bullshit, all this shit that he did. Let's just put that aside. The financial problems alone, are attributed to him. Whether you want to admit it or not, it was he and his crew. It wouldn't have happened if he had pushed for it. Remember Enron? Enron was also linked to him, but we decided to just kind of forget about that shit and come up with a scapegoat instead. No, it was him and his crew. Remember, Cheney had stock in that shit. Somehow you guys aren't mentioning any of that. No, somehow it's Obama's fault. He hasn't even had a full fucking year in office. How the hell is it his fault that we're going down to this deficit? Can you explain that to me? All he's doing is continuing the plan that was already put in place by the motherfuckers you voted for 4 years ago and 8 years ago. But it's his fault? Again, I am not a supporter of the man. But let's get our assholes straight, okay? The only reason why you're putting blame on him is because he's in power and your crew is not. And the only reason why you're supporting the crew that you want in power is because you guys are assholes and idiots and don't think for your fucking selves. You've been supporting people who don't even go along with the reasons why you voted for them. Your whole thing is supposed to be about anti-socialism and small government. And these guys have been anything but. It's very funny to me that the people in Washington right now who are helping you guys to believe that Obama is a socialist were the same ones who came up with socialistic policies of bailing out businesses. And that was going on before, again, Obama was in office. Hell, before he even got voted for. They were already doing things to bail out businesses and give millions of dollars to companies to keep them afloat. And guess what? That's business socialism. Go ahead, look it up. Don't just coin the phrase. Find out what it is that you're actually fucking talking about before you use it. And, by the way, another thing that kind of gets on my nerves about conservatives these days yelling out the socialist word. I want every last conservative who is worried about us turning into a socialist republic to give up their rights to Social Security so at least the rest of us have a chance of getting that money. Yes, that's right. Give up your social... If you hate socialism so much, please do the following. Don't support the police. Don't support the post office. Give up your claims to Social Security. Give up your claims to Medicare, especially all you old farts who are on it right now who are complaining about the high rising prices of drugs. Give up all that shit because those are socialist programs. Yes, that's right. Go back and read your history books, or maybe your Alzheimer's disease, or some of you older fucks are suffering from. You don't seem to remember your socialism classes or what it actually was about, or your history classes, I should say. Go and look up what socialism is about. I know you guys hate Karl Marx simply because you are taught to believe to hate Karl Marx and his doctrine, but the fact is you have been living under that doctrine or some of those doctrines for quite some time and liked it. If you did not believe in socialism completely, then you wouldn't be complaining about your pension funds being taken or your Social Security funds disappearing. You wouldn't be complaining about the fact that there aren't enough cops in the streets, which, by the way, that happens to be part of the whole big government thing. If you guys truly want small government, you wouldn't want more police in our streets because that's government interfering with your life. You wouldn't want, extra drug laws and stiffer punishments for crime and all that shit because that's, once again, big government interfering with your life. The more laws you ask for, the more regulations you ask for, the more government influence you want on the things you claim not to like, the more bigger the government gets because they need to make more bureaucracies to handle this shit. Are you that fucking stupid that you can't figure that out? Seriously, I really would like to know, what is it with you assholes that you can't put two and two together? You're able to balance a checkbook, right? You're able to put socks on right in the morning and your shoes on and your clothes and get out and drive your fucking cars, right? You're at least capable of that. So how come you're not capable of this logic? Why can't you see that the very things that you're blaming somebody else for are, number one, what the very people you want in power have been doing to your fucking asses for who knows how long, and two, isn't even this fucker's fault because he's going along with shit that your crew has already enacted. And quite frankly, I'll be fair. Again, I got my own problems with Obama. I really do. But let's be fair. If he did nothing, we would still be in a downward spiral because of the shit that Bush and his crew left behind. We were going to go into a free fall no matter what. But you know what angers me more? If McCain had gotten into office and the same shit happened, you know what you fuckers would be saying? Well, there wasn't anything we could do. Or you would find some other scapegoat. You want to know why America is going down the tubes? Because we are a nation of morons. And every time I hear you fuckers complaining about returning into a socialistic country or that it's all Obama's fault, I'm reminded once again that just because you may be the richest and most powerful doesn't necessarily mean you're the most intelligent. You're some of the dumbest fuckers on the planet. And that's why we're going to fall. And quite frankly, if you guys are that dumb and can't figure this shit out, if you can't figure out this simple fucking logic that I spelled out in the last freaking few minutes, then I guess we deserve to fall. No one this dumb should be this powerful forever. It's about fucking time.